Yeah, Pyramid Head or Prism is
Hmm.
in there.
Hmm.
Um,
Must have not
I
noticed
think
it.
they are. We don't have two of the characters in the demo,
Hmm.
which are, I believe, Sunny and Luna, the
Hmm.
sun and the moon. But everything else, all the other characters are available.
Okay.
Um, we recently actually decided to kind of change the design of one of the characters. So there's one character is named Orbit,
Hmm.
and they're a character that have a few little kind of moons orbiting around their
Yeah, yeah.
head
I've
and
got the
around their
Steam page open
waist.
right now. The second one on the Steam
Nice.
page.
I think so. And so you might notice that they're kind of like a chocolatey color.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's the one. Yep,
Um,
yep.
I just I wanted well we had stickers.
Hmm.
They're not the stickers that I showed you earlier. This is a relatively new holo sticker, but we had like smaller separate stickers for all the characters, each
Hmm.
individual one, and we would take it to playtesting events. And unfortunately, we just found that people weren't really going for Orbit. I just had too many left over,
Hmm.
and one of the problems that we have with the game is like the design of the character colors
Hmm.
and kind of spreading them out as much as possible so that you don't two characters aren't too close in
Right,
color. So
right.
we kind of had a bit of a design phase where we spread the colors out a little bit more. So Sprout actually became a little bit more lime,
Hmm.
and Orbit became teal. So we're in the process of updating that in a few of the little pages. But I think it's a nice change, and Orbit is now a little bit more vibrant, and they kind of they complement a lot of the other characters now. I really enjoy just like my design mind enjoys different character combinations, like the Stark and Orbit playing at the same time. The teal and the kind of pink
Hmm.
colors go really nicely together. And so that's quite fun.
Maybe it's a tough question, and I doubt you're gonna have a good answer for it. But do you have a favorite of the characters?
Um, no, that yeah, there that is a tough question. I could probably just speak to everyone's favorite. Everyone seems to really love Sprout, and so I have a soft spot for Sprout as well. But if I tried not to do that, I think I think I really like Prism. Um,
Okay.
Prism is kind of like a little um, pyramid head,
Mm.
like astronaut, and they're just a little bit weird
Mm.
and crazy. Is how I kind of imagine their personality, and that's certainly how we're developing it. So, like in the single player campaign, we've actually got someone who's writing some backstory on a universe and building a world so that we can have dialogue
Okay.
during the single player adventure. And so we kind of fleshed out their personalities, which is a lot of fun, a fun process to be able to do.
That's interesting because I wasn't expecting there to be any sort of like world building and lore in a game like this. I kind of expected it to just be like a fun little party game.
But yeah, and it really is. But it's just kind of like when you're trying to flesh things out, even a little bit, you can go too deep.
Sure, sure.
And that's kind of it's kind of fun to be able to do that because if you want any kind of story, you need some sort of turmoil, you need some sort of challenge, and then you question like, well, why are these characters? Why are they going through this challenge? What motivates them? And it's like this is before you know it. It's too deep for the type of game that it is.
Yeah.
But I think it's always good to have more backstory than
Mhm.
less,
Right,
even
right.
if it's a very simplistic narrative. Yeah, and then we also have, like I said, someone who's working on the narrative now. So that's been quite recent, and that's
Mhm.
been a really cool and interesting process uh, to have them on board. And yeah, like you implied, it's not going to be a huge world, so they're not developing something huge. We're going to have little bits and pieces of dialogue for the little single player campaign, but it's also nice to kind of just flesh out the characters a
Mhm.
little bit. Uh,
But you can
but
clearly
yeah,
see they all have their own little personalities, so I'm sure that'll add a little like a little bit of fun to it as well. And I don't know if you maybe want to keep going down if you want to do a second one in the future, maybe you can play more around with lore then, and maybe do more of that. But you know, as you're saying, you don't want to go too far with the lore with a game like this, because you could.
Yeah.
Turn into a whole different game, and you're like, wait, this was supposed to be a party game, wasn't it? What are we doing?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I would love to do some sort of sequel, which would not be the same genre, but it all depends on the success of this game.
Mm,
If it does well, then we'll see what happens next. But yeah, I always wanted this game to kind of be a couch co-op game
mm,
where you would kind of be jumping around in space. I always loved the game Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time, where you can play 2 to 4 players. I'm not sure if you can play one player, but you 2 to 4 players and you have a vehicle in space.
mm,
And you're all kind of moving around in this vehicle, and there are different little control panels that you can run to be able to control various parts of the spaceship. So you
mm,
can go to the helm to steer the spaceship as one of the characters, or you can go to one of the turrets on the left or the right or the top or bottom, or you can go to the shield. It's a very fun game. It's quite hard in the later levels. So I've enjoyed that game, and I've kind of wanted to turn Which Way Up into something similar to that experience where you're adventuring with people.
mm,
Maybe it would be procedural, maybe it would be kind of roguelike, or maybe it would just be a designed world
mm.
in a similar style to like Super Mario 3D World, or something like that, which is very simple and just about fun platforming. Um, but yeah, that would be an ambitious uh, future goal of mine, I think. But we'll see. Finish one game first.
That's a good plan. Yeah, actually finish the game, release it. You gotta like a time period you want to get it released. So don't start up something new until at least that date.
Yeah, I'll try. It's hard.